think I finally lucked out here and found a spot with no wind. I've tried to record this video 3 times. I put the initial footage through editing and it turned out to be just dog shit. The audio was horrible. I went to another spot, tried to film that, didn't work as well, just too much distortion in the audio. Anyways, hopefully this spot works. So what I have behind me is something I never really thought I would own. Not because I didn't want one, just because I never thought I would be able to buy one. But here I am. If you would have told me a couple years ago that at 19 you could have an E92 M3 and an E36 M3, I would have said you're crazy. This is insane for me. I want to preface this video by saying it took a lot to get here. It's not like I just woke up one morning and said I'm gonna buy an E92 M3. Again, every single car that I've had up until this point, I flipped for more money and rolled it into the next car. So while I paid what I paid for this E92 M3, I didn't really pay what I paid for the E92 M3 as in terms of straight up cash. Like I made profit on every single car and that rolls into the next one and then into the next one and so on. And eventually, you know, you get what you want, but you're not spending what it costs, if that makes sense. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's talk about the car. So I actually have been looking for an E92 M3 since before my F30 sold because I knew it was gonna sell. And somebody was really interested. It took a while to coordinate, but I started looking immediately as I had interest in the black car, the F30. So what I initially found was a Le Mans blue E92 M3. It was a DCT car. It was in Washington, and it had like 75,000 miles, carbon roof, very sweet. You guys saw in the last video, I was on my way to get that car, and the dealership actually just sold it when I was supposed to come and buy it. Long story short, in my hunt for the E92 M3, I ended up finding this car weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Basically, before I found the blue one, I kind of saw this one. I said, wow, it's a really nice car, but I like this blue one more because it has less miles, blah, blah, blah. This one has a bit more miles, but nothing crazy, 110,000. But the thing that caught my eye with this car is all the maintenance has been done and then the modifications, which we'll get into. But basically, I wanted this car after the blue one fell through. I couldn't find the listing for the life of me. I looked and looked and looked. Finally, I set my Facebook location on Marketplace to SoCal, and I ended up coming across this car. I guess I was the first person to message him, and we flew out like the same week. So me and Cole actually went and got this car like 2 days ago, and we drove from Los Angeles all the way back to Sonoma County within 1 day. We got the car 1 day, everything in 1 day. And the car did phenomenal, almost, I want to say it's like 450 miles. So it did really well, and I'm stoked about that. I actually meant to film the whole thing. I brought my camera with me. I forgot the fucking SD card. As soon as I got to LA and I pulled my camera out, I realized what I forgot. So anyways, I'm gonna pop up like a few snaps from the Instagram story just to give you like a quick brief overview of what happened. But yeah, I totally fumbled the bag there. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the car now. This is my 2011 BMW E92 M3. It's a 6-speed manual, space gray over the black, and it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome car. All right, let's talk spec. Spec-wise, I'd say it's pretty good. Obviously, it's great that it's an LCI car. It's got comfort access. It is a sunroof car, big whoop. I'm not such a purist about this type of shit. Since it's a daily driver, I do actually enjoy sunroofs, so that doesn't really bother me at all. The car also was not optioned with EDC, which is not a huge deal, especially because this car is sitting on some coilovers, so it's not necessarily completely out of luck in that area, but EDC would have been nice. So best part about this spec would be arguably the 6-speed manual. The seats and the rest of the interior is in really good condition. Granted, this car is 10 years old at this point. The seats, everything's pretty great shape. You can see we have the dry carbon in here, way better than wood, way better than the aluminum in my opinion. I know I sound biased, but really I do love this trim out of all of them. Also, a huge plus with the LCI cars having the updated iDrive. This is huge for me. If it was the outdated pre-LCI iDrive, that would be the first thing that would have to be swapped out. Just from a daily driver perspective, you really need some upgraded media, and this iDrive is plenty good enough for now. We will be doing an Apple CarPlay unit in the future, but this works great for now. Now, I won't lie, I was looking for a red interior car, but that is so hard to come by. And honestly, the black is pretty classy. All right, let's talk exterior. this car is pretty subtle, but also pretty bold. You'll notice it's definitely not stock ride height. This thing is sitting extremely low. It's damn near tucking in the rear as well as the front. So coincidentally, this car is actually sitting on BCBR coilovers. The same coilovers I'm running on my E36 M3. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard BCs on a car like this, I was a little bit skeptical, but we drove this car over 6 hours home and it rode phenomenally, especially at its ride height. I know it looks low and hard to drive, but seriously, it drives like a OEM ride height car. You can see it is pretty low. It's got this nice carbon fiber lip, and it is attached to the beautiful Euro bumper. Now, I'm pretty stoked on this Euro bumper because I would probably never do this just due to the expense of it, and then also they just take forever to come in. So you'll notice like there's no side markers, no headlight washers, no parking sensors, no plate holes. It is basically a completely shaved bumper. There's just no holes in it. Obviously the one for the tow hook cover, but that is it, no other holes. This car is obviously the Shadowline trim package, so black grills, black headliner. I'm pretty sure they all come like that, I'm not sure. But with that front bumper and the lip, it really sets the front end off. Now, let's talk more carbon. This car has lots of carbon, and obviously I'm responsible for none of it. The previous owner put a lot of carbon on this car. So not only do we have the front carbon fiber lip, we have the fender grills. You see those are carbon. We also have these side skirt extensions, which I'm stoked on because I've always wanted to do that on the E36. I just couldn't justify how expensive they are. Following the side skirt extensions, we go over to the back and you see we have these rear carbon fiber spats for the bumper. And like the staple for every E92 is this carbon fiber like high kick duckbill. Now this one is pretty bold. It's a pretty big one. I know a lot of people love this look and they run this look. You can see, or maybe you can't, there's like adhesive from the OEM trunk clip. I might throw the OEM one on, I'll see. Obviously I like the carbon fiber stuff, just that one is a little much. But I don't know if I'll be changing that out anytime soon because there's so many other things I want to touch before that. Now if you know me, you know I love the sunk stock wheels on like a slammed car. It just looks so good to me. It looks kind of ridiculous. I think that's why I like it so much. But the stock 220s are beautiful wheels and I love these wheels. Who knows, I might actually raise the car up a little bit and put a spacer front and rear, but all this stuff adds up. It all costs money, so I'm gonna take it slow. I definitely have to pace myself on this one. Now behind these wheels, you'll actually see we have drilled and slotted rotors from ECS. These are a huge upgrade and I'm super happy that the car came with this, because this is a huge brake upgrade that I probably wouldn't shell out the cash for anytime soon. So I'm glad that that's addressed and they're upgraded and I don't have to worry about them. Now I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds to guess what this exhaust setup is. You heard it in the beginning of the video. You can see there's just no exhaust. No muffler, it's gone. So straight up muffler delete. The saddest part about the muffler delete is it actually sounds pretty good aside from the drone. I can't live with the drone, so I do need to change this. We may be doing the OEM muffler mod. I might get something from Valvetronic. I'm gonna reach out to a bunch of companies for this car because it's not gonna be cheap. And then also, this car is extremely dark. The tint is, you can't see through it. Which is not great. I don't really love the like limo tint. I like, you know, about 20%. I don't think that's what this is. This looks pretty dark to me. You can't see through it. Especially the rear window. This is fucking useless. You can't use this. You can't use your rear view mirror. So this car is definitely not fun to drive at night. One thing I am a fan of is the banner here. Obviously it's not placed over top, it's tinted from the inside, so it's properly done. It's not like my E36 with the banner, you know, on the outside, gets chips in it and it just doesn't look good after a while. This is perfect. I really actually prefer this. So that's kind of just a general overview of the new daily driver E92 M3, badass car. Never really thought I would buy one, but here we are. And it took a lot to get here. It's just crazy to think about. If you put your mind to something, you can totally do it. And you can really accomplish what you want to. Overall, I'm just super stoked to get into this car, get into building it, making it a solid daily driver. and really recording my experience owning one of these. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea. I was told it was a bad idea. That's why I bought the F30 in March and not one of these. But you're gonna find out through me, I guess. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If there's anything you want to see specifically on this car, I'd be happy to make a video on it. Again, I'm just super stoked. So if you guys did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, send it to a friend or subscribe. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.